Hey, what's going on guys? Tyrant back with another video, and today I have some very special exclusive content for you guys. A massive shout out to SNK for giving me early access to Ken in Fatal Fury City of the Wolves. So he is playable at EVO over this weekend, but unfortunately, if you know anything about my current situation, I'm not able to attend, sadly. So SNK hooked me up, and yeah, I couldn't be happier with this. Okay, first things first, how does a 6-button Street Fighter character translate to Fatal Fury, where there's only 4 attack buttons? Well, SNK have mapped Ken's traditional heavy buttons to forward C and forward D respectively. Like the other characters, his light punches and kicks are mapped to A and B, but his mediums from Street Fighter are with C and D, and then the heavies will be with forward C and forward D. So yeah, you can do crouch heavy punch, for example, by doing down forward and C, or sweep with down forward D. He has a lot of different ways to open up the opponent as well, including multiple overheads. For example, he has his forward B overhead here. This version of Ken has a little bit of spice from pretty much every iteration of Ken previously, I feel like. For example, he has his chin buster target combo here. He has his kick target combo as well. He actually has quite a lot of tools for this game. I mean, even more than most of the other characters in the game. You're going to be seeing that in a moment. Here are all of his jump buttons. Now, I'm pretty sure that he doesn't have variations on this. Like, for example, you can't do a different jumping button by pressing a direction in C or D. I found the only cross up to be jump B. His jump A actually floats on air to air, so you can come up with some pretty cool stuff here, I imagine. Here's the basic stuff I found, you know, cancelling it into jump Tatsu, for example. But yeah, looking forward to seeing what people find. Here are the dodge attacks, nothing to really write home about here. Low dodge attacks and overhead, of course, and then high dodge attack is an anti-air move, which you can cancel to stop jump-ins and things like that. Okay, here are the rev blows. Pretty basic stuff, you know, he's got a pretty standard grounded rev blow. Here's an example of a combo I found as well. And then the jump rev blow is kind of weird. It kind of holds him in place. He doesn't have momentum on it, so you can use this to cancel from, you know, like one of his EX moves like Tatsu or whatever. Alright, special moves. So this would not be Ken Masters or any Shoto for that matter of fact without the Hadoken. It doesn't knock down, you know, as is traditional for Ken. The signature move of Ken, of course, the Shoryuken, the light version with A, the heavy version with C, and then he has the Rev Art version as well. The C and Rev Art version are breakable, so you can use these in juggles and stuff like that. Alright, now for the Hurricane Kick, the Tatsumaki, this was pretty much his SF5 version, I feel like. The light version pops him up in the same way, the heavy version goes a little bit further, and then the Rev Art version actually pops him up real high, so it's literally his EX Tatsu from SF5. Next up is his Dragon Lash kick from Street Fighter 6. So yeah, this works pretty much the same way. The light version is faster, but it's unsafe on block. The heavy version is a little bit slower, but it's plus on block, so it's +1. Same with the Rev Art version, so you can use it for mind games and things like that. So your opponent's probably going to be able to react with Rev Blow on this, but of course they have to be ready, and you know, it's a mind game at the end of the day. Alright, now for the Jump Tatsu. The light version, it has like falling momentum, but the heavy version is his classic Street Fighter 2 Jump Tatsu, which brings him across the screen, you know, in a horizontal fashion, so that's really cool to see this coming back. The Rev Art one is probably the most versatile. It crosses up from really far away. I think this is honestly one of Ken's best tools from what I found. Like, this is going to be so hard to deal with, bro. Like, I feel like whenever Ken jumps at you, you're just going to have to hold the guard button because, man, this can be so ambiguous. And you can see I'm jumping from so far away and it still crosses up and gets a full combo. So, yeah, this is scary. Next up is his Jinrai kick, also from Street Fighter 6. This has the various follow-ups that you'd expect for this. He has forward B for the low kick that he can true string into. He has forward D to push them back and allow for juggles and stuff. He also has the overhead follow-up with back and D. So yeah, you have the different follow-ups. You can true string it, you can frame trap them with this. But it's best not to abuse it because there are going to be gaps if you try and, you know, do it too often. But yeah, it's one of those mind games things, and it's just Ken's way of opening you up. You know, this is always what he's been good at, and this is just another tool to let him do that. Then, of course, he has the different Rev Art versions of this as well. And I think the forward and kick version of this, the follow-up, I think this is going to be one of his best tools to be used in combos. I found this to be very consistent when used with Rev Excel, you know, cancelling into other specials and stuff like that. So, yeah, you're going to be seeing that a little bit later on too. I set the dummy to mash a light button, and it looks like if you cancel Jinrai from Ken's forward C, it actually kind of frame traps them, launches them up, gives you a full combo. So yeah, I think people are going to find some real good stuff with this one. All right, next up we have Ken's run. See, this is what I was talking about when I said Ken has a lot of tools, bro. He has so much. So the run, he has like 4 different follow-ups. 5 if you count the stop. So he can run, he can stop, he has a step kick with D follow-up, he has the Dragon Lash with forward D follow-up, he has a Tatsu with back D follow-up, and then he has the Heavy Dragon Punch with forward B follow-up. I actually nearly forgot, he also has his overhead Thunder Kick with down and D. So yeah, he has 5 follow-ups, 6 if you count the stop. Bro, that's kind of crazy. Yeah, man, like, this is going to be really, really useful for him, you know, getting around the neutral and getting in on characters like Kain that like to throw out a lot of projectiles. I think this is going to be useful for Ken. Of course, he has the Rev Art versions as well. Now, this is going to be very useful for him when it comes to more invincibility frames or closing the gap quicker or even cancelling from other Rev Arts. So, yeah, like this character's combo potential is going to be nuts. Alright, here I'm just showing off a couple of random Rev Excel strings that I think might be useful. But yeah, like Ken's, all of his specials, they flow together very nicely. So they did a great job with that. Alright, breaks and feints. So Ken's only feint is his Hadouken. It's his fireball, yeah. So this is the only feint that he has out of all of his moves. And actually, I think it's one of the stronger ones. Because I feel like the fact that you see the spark of the projectile, it's kind of like Marco, which I feel has an incredibly good feint. You know, you see the projectile, your brain thinks jump or, you know, defensive immediately. But yeah, he doesn't actually throw anything. So I think this is a very good feint. As far as breaking goes, of course, his Dragon Punch, like I mentioned earlier, is breakable, the Heavy and Rev Art versions, and the Heavy and Rev Art versions of Tatsu as well. So, yeah, this is interesting. The Heavy version of the Tatsu is just like a mind game. It doesn't actually connect, but the Rev Art version does. So you can use this to pop them up and get combos, etc, etc. So, funnily enough, his kick redline gear is actually breakable as well. So, this is interesting because you can use it grounded. You can get follow-ups here, I think only with Tatsu because you're +4. But aerial, if they're juggling, you can get different combos there as well. So, you know, this might just be for style purposes. And to be honest, Ken is all about that style. And he's always been flashy. So, this just leads into that, you know. This is just, I don't know if this is ever going to be optimal, but it looks pretty cool. Speaking of his supers, here they are in order. Of course, we're starting off with the ignition gears. Here is his punch one. Of course, it's a Dragon Punch super. And then his kick ignition gear is, of course, the go-to super art from Third Strike. Alright, his redline gears now. Of course, the punch one is Shoryu Repa. He's had this super forever. You know, we've seen this a million times, but it looks dope in this game. His kick redline gear is the Shippu Jinrai Kyaku. This is his CA from Street Fighter 5. Next up, of course, the hidden gear. This is the Shinryuken. I'm pretty sure this is very similar to the SF6 version, but yeah, hits hard, looks amazing. Alright, now for some little tidbits and extras I found. So, Ken's dash is not like the rest of the characters in the game in that he cannot cancel any of his dash frames into buttons. Now, this can hurt him somewhat when it comes to using wild punishes mid-screen and stuff like that. Now, I'm pretty sure this is a nod to the fact that he's a Street Fighter character, and Street Fighter characters have never really been able to do that outside of like versus games and stuff like that. So you're going to have to get creative if you want big punishes for using wild punish mid-screen, or just sweep. I also found his 6D was not cancelable into anything apart from run and I think supers. So if you do catch the opponent with this, remember to cancel into run and get a follow-up like that. I found a pretty easy safe jump, heavy Tatsu, dash, forward C, and then safe jump. But yeah, I feel like this is going to be just the tip of the iceberg. People are going to find so much nasty stuff with this character. And the fact that he hits so hard is going to make this hurt even more. Yeah, and then here are just some cool combos that I found. Man, honestly, labbing this character is so much fun, guys. He is so cool. Like, it's just so fun to have a character that you can just do so many DPs, for example. His cross-up is incredible. Yeah, he's just really flashy, and this is what you'd expect Ken to be like, honestly. Like, they delivered a lot more than I possibly thought they could. I wasn't sure when I saw the trailer because he looked quite, you know, limited, but he's a lot of fun to try out, and I highly recommend him. I'm going to close out the video here with some CPU high-level gameplay. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought about Ken, and I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Please, I'm trying to grow the YouTube channel, so if you're not already subscribed, be sure to hit that button. And yeah, drop a comment, let me know what you think. I'm out of here, guys. Enjoy the rest of the video, be safe, and if you do get to try Ken out at EVO, have fun and let me know your thoughts. Alright, Tyrant out of here, guys. Take care.
Round 2. Get ready. Fight. SPT. Hadouken. 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 Tackle. You wish. Right punch. Right punch. Double Hadouken. Hadouken. Ora. Jinrai. Up and over. Hadouken. You're all mine now. Tackle. It's right. Wait. I'll keep fighting, no matter what. Final round. Get ready. Fight. Right punch. Hadouken! No way! How's this? No way!
A rematch? Anytime, anywhere. If I'm in the mood, that